Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for 150 years now, Nebraska has held a special place in the history of America. We Nebraskans rightly pride ourselves on the values of hard work, on the values of community life, on the proper value of the good stewardship of our precious resources. The mystique of the Great Plains, the nobility of the family farm, and the vibrancy of our people create the conditions for the good life. Our story is one of strength, it's one of dignity, and I'm proud to celebrate our 150th anniversary. Now, Mr. Speaker, a number of years ago, a gift of land donation enabled the expansion of the National Homestead Monument, which is near Beatrice, Nebraska. Run by the National Park Service, their personnel were kind enough to invite me to the dedication ceremony. And during that event, a young woman who was from a seventh-generation farm family, in high school at that time, as I recall, she got up to speak. She gave a beautiful talk about our Nebraska values, our connectedness to the land, the deeper meaning of living, and the ideal of maintaining the continuity of family life. Her remarks, Mr. Speaker, they moved me so much that I literally tossed my own speech aside and spoke off the cuff. And I said something like this: perhaps it was on a day just like this, where that settler family came over the hill there, and they looked at the great expanse of the plains before them. Perhaps that day they felt the warm spring sun on their cheeks, and they heard the chirp of the western meadowlark in the air, and they watched as the beautiful blue stem prairie grass swayed in the wind. Perhaps it was then that they made their decision. We stay right here. Nebraska will be our home. Now, Mr. Speaker, when I finished that, I was very proud of myself, so I sat down. And then the next speaker came up, another political figure, and he had this to say: well, my family came here because they were horse thieves. We all shared a little laugh. But really, Mr. Speaker, Nebraska's colorful history and droll wit were simultaneously captured in that moment. Nebraska's official motto is equality before the law, but our unofficial motto is Nebraska nice. It's true, Nebraskans are generally nice, but beneath that friendly veneer is an unmistakable, unvarnished realism. Nebraskans have a unique ability to look at a situation and size it up accurately, if often humorously. Get her done is an often used phrase that I think can be safely attributable to us. Sometimes, Mr. Speaker, Nebraska has been pejoratively described as, in the popular imagination of our country, first as the Great American Desert, because it was thought that nothing would grow there. Today, we have the largest amount of acreage under irrigation in the country, including the fact that we are the largest grower of popcorn in America. We are a leader in livestock production and multiple types of commodity production, as well as specialty crops. We were sometimes castigated as flyover country. I hear that around here sometimes. That is, until you come to Nebraska and realize that it's a wonderful place to live and to work and to raise a family, relatively free from crime, except even horse thieves, congestion as well as pollution. Nebraska has routinely the highest graduation rate in the country and the lowest unemployment rate in the country. And though in true Nebraska fashion, self-effacing cornhuskers would cringe at the term, we've had our fair share of celebrities as well, including Father Ed Flanagan, who founded Boys Town, now known as Boys Town and Girls Town. Civil rights pioneers Chief Standing Bear being one of the most prominent, Malcolm X, authors Marie Sandoz and Willa Cather, professional athletes Bob Gibson and Gail Sayers, and entertainers Henry Fonda, Marlon Brando, Montgomery Clift, Johnny Carson, and Dick Cavett. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, our singular unicameral legislature is a model for bipartisanship and frugality. I'd be remiss if I didn't say our run-it-up-the-gut offense with a few option twists. It may not have been flashy, but it helped the University of Nebraska's football team win 5 national championships. I'm proud to serve in the United States Congress seat once held by Williams Jennings Bryant, who, along with Senator George Norris, perhaps are the most famous, though controversial in some ways, politicians in our state's history. As we celebrate the 150th anniversary of Nebraska's admission to the United States of America, by the way, the first state admitted after the Civil War, I recall Representative Bryan's words from over 100 years ago. It's a quote that actually is outside of our football stadium, known as Memorial Stadium, on Tom and Nancy Osborne Field. It says this: "Destiny is no matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for. It is a thing to be achieved." And perhaps, Mr. Speaker, we can add to that quote today, and that the choice to be good makes the destiny arrive well. Happy birthday, Nebraska. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.